who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, though. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On it. I'm welcome to Speak On It. Welcome to Speak On It. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to Speak On It with who you with, Kirk, dog. Who you with, Kirk, dog. Want to welcome everyone to the show on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is always in the house. You can live chat with us during the show. Hopefully y'all had a great day today. What's today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Hopefully y'all having a great day. Like I said, you can live chat with us during the show. We're going to hit on a couple of stories tonight. I've been putting this story out for a while because I had to get my mind right. But unfortunately, Nicole Michelle Johnson out of Maryland, she was arrested last week after a traffic stop, and the police found her niece and nephew body in the car. So we're going to talk about that. And then I don't know if y'all remember last year during the Black Lives Matter protests in Missouri, St. Louis last year, where the attorneys at this home pointed assault rifles at the protesters. Well, the governor had pardoned both of them. Yeah, we're going to hit on that a little bit. Then Governor Cuomo. Yeah. The Attorney General found that he have actually allegedly sexual assaulted multiple women. So, unfortunately, if that is the case, he'd need to be held accountable just like anybody else. And if that's the case, they are calling for him to step down, which he should. Welcome to the show. Radio Chaos is up in the house. Haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you're doing good, staying safe. Up in Canada. Excuse me. How's everything going up in Canada with COVID? Are your numbers increasing? I know I asked you that last week, but I don't know if Canada is anything like the US where they don't want to tell us the numbers until days later. So let us know how the virus is working up there. And if it looked like y'all possibly facing another shutdown. I know y'all haven't opened back up yet. I think it's supposed to be coming later this month. They're going to open up y'all borders again. So definitely fill us in on that. And also, I don't know why, but my don't know why if you're on Facebook, I don't know why it's not showing your monitor on my stream to let me know if people is on there. But if you are on Facebook on my personal page, if you are on my personal page, please take the time to go over to the show page. Speak on it with who you with, Kurt, though. Speak on it with Who You With Kurt Dog on Facebook. And please take the time to like, share, click the notification, let a friend know we are live, regardless of whatever platform you own. Please like, share, subscribe, click the notification for whenever we do come on live. You could join us and be a part of the show. This is the People Show, as Marcella say all the time. Marcella Smith. This is the People Show, and everybody is welcome. Radio said it's still the same, but it could spike again. There is no mask mandate right now. Now that's in Canada. Um, that's in Canada, but as the numbers continue to rise in the U.S. and other country, it's just a matter of time. So hopefully they don't spike. Um, Hopefully y'all have it under control. They open no borders back up. It'll be great. But so hopefully you and your family stay safe, and uh, in Canada stay safe, because I really want to visit Canada. So hopefully everything will stay safe on that part. But this, I hate dealing with stories, dealing with kids, but this is um, one of those situations where a aunt murdered her kids, and um, which this is crazy, and um, that's the issue with dealing with people that have mental illness, because with mental illness, it's one of those situations where you never know what somebody is going through, regardless of who it is. You never know. Now, this situation started off as a good thing, taking in her niece and nephew because the mother could not take care of them. So that was a good thing. I'm gonna come from two different stories because I was reading two that both of them kind of look good. One of them is Yahoo News. Baltimore woman that after niece nephew get discovered in trunk. Nicole Michelle Johnson faced child abuse, other charges connected to the death of a 7-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy. The bodies of a girl and boy were found in the trunk of a Baltimore woman during what seemed to be a routine traffic stop on Thursday, according to CNN. The children are the niece and nephew of the woman, who is currently being held without bail. Nicole Michelle Johnson, 33, was pulled over for speeding by a police officer who discovered she was driving with a fake temporary tag, no license plate, with no license and no insurance, as Johnson removed things from the trunk of her car before the vehicle was towed. The officer smelled what he believed was a decomposing odor, as stated in charging document, and he asked Johnson about the item. It was then discovered that inside the trunk, Johnson had a plastic tote bag filled with maggots and a suitcase. When the suitcase was opened, the decomposing body of a girl was inside. The officer also found inside a plastic tote bag a garbage bag that contained a second decomposing body. This one was a boy. Johnson attempted to flee when the officer uncovered the girl's body, but she was caught and arrested. The bodies were Johnson's niece and nephew, Jocelyn Marie James Johnson,
7 and 5-year-old Larry Darnell O'Neal. According to Baltimore Sun, Johnson told detectives that she had been taking care of the children since May of 2019 when their mother, Nichelle Johnson, moved from Ohio to Maryland, leaving them with their aunt. I wish it was me instead. I wish I didn't wake up tomorrow, Nichelle Johnson wrote on her Instagram page. The Sun reported she told police she had tried to pick her children up several times but was unable to reach Nicole after she didn't show up for an arranged meeting in March. Nichelle was informed of her children's death by the police. Um, Nicole told detectives that one night in May 2020, she had hit Jocelyn multiple times after getting angry with her, causing her to fall and hit her head on the floor. She then put Jocelyn's body in a suitcase and has been carrying it in the trunk since. Johnson said this past May, O'Neal laid down to sleep, saying that he was tired. He never woke up. Johnson then put her nephew body in a bag and also placed it in her trunk. She disclosed that he had a wound on his leg when he went to sleep, but doesn't know where it came from. An autopsy revealed that Jocelyn and Larry were 18 and 21 pounds. Baltimore's County Police Department wrote in charging document, according to doctors, it would have taken several months of malnutrition to attain these weight. According to Danielle Smith, aunt of the family friend, Johnson had been homeless for some time, going from one hotel to the next. The May 2020 incident that led to Jocelyn's death happened at the Regal Inn in Rosedale. So, since May 2020, she been carrying these babies' bodies in her trunk, and nobody knew what was going on. Now, the grandmother did speak out about it, and the grandmother said, um, this is coming from Fox 5 News out of Baltimore. Um, the maternal grandmother of the two young children who were discovered in the trunk of their aunt car during a traffic stop in Essen last week is speaking out now. She blaming the tragic death on two of her daughters. Michelle Johnson is the grandmother of the two children caught in the middle of this tragic story, and is the mother of Nicole Johnson and the mother accused and charged in connection with the children's death. The mother quote, I love her, but I want her to pay with every soul in my bone. They could put her to sleep as far as I'm concerned. They could put them both to sleep, said Johnson. And that came um, from the maternal grandmother. And that, I don't know. It's different when it's dealing with kids. It's definitely different. Um, Kids should be off limit. Should be. Welcome to the show, Patrick Times. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's been a while since you've been on, but I'm glad that you are here. Go ahead and take the time, like, share, tell a friend. We are live, and they can also be a part of the show. But yeah, that to me, that's really a, a crazy situation. Anybody that do anything to kids is a sick individual. And even though, and I hate to say this, um, even though the grandmother said what she said, But a picture speak 1,000 words. And I don't know. I feel kind of strange about the picture of the grandmother because she's look like um she pretty much is ready for TV. Look like she kind of smiling on the picture. So I think that's a really um slippery slope because sometimes you have people deal with mental illness. It runs in their genes. It starts from somewhere, either down in the family tree, or as it get closer. It comes from somewhere because you have one daughter for whatever reason couldn't take care of her kids, give it to a sister, thinking that she could trust her sister, and then the kids end up dead. And I don't know what the situation is. I would definitely love to hear more about it. And if drugs was involved, uh, I'm not an expert, but I would assume mental health is involved. To drive around with bodies in your car, I would assume there's some mental health involved somewhere. So that's what I assume. But hey, let me know. Let me know how you feel about it. And um, as we, as I mentioned about mental health, I can see that, and I'm gonna blame. I'm gonna partially blame radio for this because he mentioned last week we wasn't trolled, haven't been trolled in a while, and apparently we have a troll in the house tonight. Either a troll or some mental health issues going on tonight. Um, so I can see the comments, but of course I don't read all comments. Why? I'm in the middle of talking, and we're not talking about this story right now, so it's not important to me. But keep it up, Pat. You always welcome here. Hopefully, you will get some uh, learn something while you listening to the show, and that's all cool. Um, we'll get to that question that you asked in a little bit. Um, so last year we talked about this couple out of St. Louis, Missouri. This couple actually came on. Black Lives Matter protest was going down a street. The wife sat there with a pistol in her hand. The husband sat there with a assault rifle, pointing it at the peaceful protest. See, I kept saying last night, it's something about when it's a peaceful protest, people get people kind of lose their mind a little bit when it's a peaceful protest. They feel it's a threat when it's peaceful, but when they come up, feel like everything is just fine. But maybe that's me. I don't know. I don't know. But a peaceful protest passing by their house, and they pointed a gun at the protester last summer. Uh, and the Missouri Republican Governor Mike Parson on Tuesday announced pardon for Patricia Mark McCloskey, the St. Louis homeowner who pointed guns at protesters near their home last summer. The couple who pled guilty now in June to misdemeanor charges and stemming from the incident were among the 12 pardoned that that Parson granted last week. The governor office said in a statement. Um, the McCloskeys drew national attention June 2020 after they were seen on video brandishing guns outside their mansion and pointing them at protesters who were walking on a private street toward the home of the St. Louis mayor. So now they trying to say they was running, going toward the St. Louis mayor home. In video posted on social media, Mark McCloskey is seen holding a long rifle and Patricia McCloskey holding a handgun as demonstrators who were protesting then Mayor Lynn Crucian decision to publish the name and address of people in favor of police reform walked past their home. Mark McCluskey had pled guilty to fourth-degree assault and faced a $750 fine, while Patricia McCloskey pled guilty to second-degree harassment and faced a $2,000 fine, according to court documents. As part of the plea agreement, the couple had to agree to surrender their handgun and semi-automatic rifle, according to document. Mark McCloskey told CNN last July that he was in imminent fear they protest run over would run me over and kill me. You up on your damn front porch. How they gonna run over you and you on your front porch and they on the street with a wall in front of them? That's what I'm saying. That's that BS right there. The document also state Mark McCluskey purposely placed at least one person in apprehension of immediate physical injury by waving a semi-automatic rifle in the direction of the crowd in front of his home. But the decision has vaulted McCloskey into national Republican politics. Mark McCloskey parlayed his notary from the 2020 incident into a bid for the U.S. Senate. And picture of him brandishing a long rifle outside his St. Louis mansion, a prominent feature on his campaign website and social media. He is vying for the Senate seat currently held by Roy Blunt, who announced he would not seek re-election next year. St. Louis, Missouri, you do not need a fool like this in office, for the simple fact that someone like that, that's like re-electing, that's like putting Trump in office again. He using this point to have it as his picture, with his gun, pointing it at people. That's not a type of lawmaker we need. That would set us back just like Trump set us back. So yeah, we need to St. Louis, Missouri, y'all need to step up, make sure he's not elected for the Senate seat. Hell, allegedly he probably was one of the ones that went to Capitol Hill on January 6th. Because even Trump talked about that the governor should pardon them. He talked about it when this incident happened. But once again, here it is. The difference. I'm going to say it. When it come down to peaceful protests, normally it's black folks. In a rally protest, normally it's Trump supporters. But once again, they feel like it was enough to pull your guns out. Now, I'm gonna go over here and glance through some of Patrick comments, because I know he did make a comment about it. He asked, was the property destroyed at the McCluskey property? They was not on their property. They walking down the street. No, Their property was not destroyed. They was peaceful protests walking down the street past their house. And they end up pulling a gun. Yeah, peaceful. Um, this fool asked, what law did the lawmaker break? Did the homeowner break? Just because somebody passed by your house, that do not give you rights to grab your gun, stand outside drinking alcohol, and point your gun at people. That's not what you do. First of all, it don't make sense. You should never pull a gun unless you have used that gun. That's why they pled guilty. So yeah, it was wrong for them to do that. Radio said that couple from St. Louis were idiot. Why were they only why were they the only resident on that street with guns? If they feared for their life, why would you stand in front of your house out in the open? Exactly. Now, if they was in the house and somebody kicked their door in, it's rockabye, baby. You gotta go. Hope hope you made peace with your maker because you about to go see him. That's all I'm saying. You don't just go and kick somebody's door in, but they walking down the street. That's the problem we have with a lot of folks. They feel uh, they have the rights to tell people what they can and can't do. But that's not gonna fly in 2021. A lot of people have tried it since Trump been in office. When he came in on his campaign, people tried it. That's why we see so many Karen and Steves. Why so many videos of them is out. So yeah, it shouldn't happen. Um, no, that's not true, and that's not true. We're gonna keep on moving for that. Inter- so tell me what wasn't. What wasn't? Tell me what's up. But once again, you won't be able to tell me. Uh, exactly. They both pointed guns at a group of people. First of all, alcohol and guns do not go together. You should never operate a vehicle, a weapon, or anything, and you up under the influence of alcohol. This story was already written. Uh, I know. I'm trying to keep going over him. He talking about private property. In the story, it said it was a on the private road, not property. It was actually in the middle of the street that they taxes are paying to maintain. So they have every right to walk down that street. Unfortunately, somebody like you may feel like, hey, you can't come down my street. And the devil is a lie. And that's a public uh sector. It's not on your property. Yes, landowners do have the rights to protect their property. Now, if they just stood out there with guns, it wouldn't. I don't think it would have been a big situation with it. But once you start pointing the guns at somebody, that's the problem. Once you start pointing the guns at them, that becomes an issue. And then on top of that, you drinking at the same time. It only take one mistake, and then shots come out. But once again, I know you don't understand that part. Um, they did not vandalize their property. You have every right to protect your property, but at the same time, in this situation, it was not vandalized at all. Um, exactly. You have to be in danger. Now, trespassing, they just walk across your grass doesn't give you uh, a reason for shooting someone. But if they're breaking into your home, That's completely different. You have to protect you and your family. But I know in Texas, if somebody break into your home, you need to make sure they inside your home before you actually um, take them out. Because if you take them out and they on the outside, you was protected. You wasn't in immediately danger. So yeah, um, trespassing does not mean you had the rights to shoot. But we know some people um, will actually shoot first and be like, "Oh, I felt uh, my life was threatened." No, you can't do that. I'm not gonna even entertain this one. That's your opinion. Um, that's your opinion. Okay. What's going on? Marcella Smith is in the house. It's the People Show. Hey, I appreciate you for always tuning in. Thank you for supporting the show. Um, so definitely I appreciate it. Um, I already know you did is subscribe, like, share, click the notification. But it's always good to continue to share. Whichever platform you own, always continue to share. Um, we're gonna do some big things coming up this year, so definitely continue to share. Even if you shared it again, every 5 minutes, share it if it run across your mind. Might catch somebody new coming on. So continue to share it. Um, radio said great argument, shoot someone over a gate. And the gate was not in front of their house. The gate was down the street. That do not give them the rights to point a gun at no one. But we know how Patrick is. Um, we know how Patrick is. Um, but that's cool. I'm glad he came back because I don't know. I'm like, hey, I'm glad he came back. But he said that private gate was destroyed on private property. Easy. No, when they talk about a private gate, they most likely lived in a gated community. So that private gate coming into that community, it's not at their home. It's at the front of the community. So basically, if that was destroyed, it was not um, in immediately danger of them getting injured. So yeah, um, so I got to read what you saying. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read what all he said. Oh, excuse me. Oh boy. Uh, Protests that took place in 140 U.S. cities this spring were mostly peaceful, but the arson, vandalism, looting that did occur will result in at least 1 billion to 2 billion of paid insurance. Um, Probably will, but maybe I will explain it one time tonight. Um, what you have to realize is, Patrick, everybody that goes to a protest is not always there for the cause. Some people go to a protest to cause issues, to cause problems. So because of that, all the Black Lives Matter protests, a lot of people came there, and there was a proven fact when some was arrested, and they was part of an outside group other than Black Lives Matter. So as for that, that was one of those situations where um, Black Lives Matter, even though it was their protest, but the outside group is the one that started the issues, terrorizing people and vandalizing business and breaking into business, stealing stuff. Of course, if you out here it is. If you uh, go somewhere and you see this big old department store 80-inch TV, uh, and you're like, oh man, I would love to have an 80-inch TV in my 1-bedroom apartment. I don't know why, but it would here it is wide open. Unfortunately, some people would take it. And I tell people this all the time. First of all, do not purchase anything off the street. Do it the right way because everything is electronic today. As soon as you plug it up, hook it up to your internet, guess what? You're going to hear, we came to get our TV and you're under arrest. So don't do it. It's not worth it. So I don't care if I went somewhere and there was a bank vault wide open during a protest. That ain't my money. I'm not finna be looking over my shoulder wondering if somebody finna come get me. Say, I'm glad I didn't read this earlier. Yeah, they do. They do. You're right. You're right on that, radio. Uh, uh, so you want to bring this up. So let me ask you this. Did you see the video from the beating of Rodney King? Did you see the video for the beating of Rodney King? Come on now. You've been typing so quick. I know it don't take that long to write yes or no. Did you see the video of the beating of Rodney King? Talking to Patrick time. Because the thing is, and I'm curious if you've seen the video. I'm curious if you agree with that decision. Because for somebody to get beat damn near to death and nothing is nothing is done about it, you don't have an issue with that? Yeah, because it bring up a lot of things. In 92, that ride for Rodney King brought up a lot of issues. Gotta remember the history of America, the history of it, the fact that for years, century, our ancestors been beat. Our ancestors been killed. And nothing happened. But when these, what was it, 4 or 5 officers, white officers that beat Rodney King with the video showing it, and they get off, you think that was fair? How is that fair? The video speak louder than anything, but then they still get off. They get off. No jail time. Went on to made other money from movies and stuff like that, doing interviews. So no, that's not right. And no, it's not the same for January 6th because they had an instigator that hyped them up to do it, and he did not take part in it. They planned January 6th for a long time. So yeah, they planned it. I'm skip over that one because I don't agree with it because I just explained to you why. Uh, I'm gonna skip over that. Oh, you did agree with me. King beating was wrong. So do you feel those cops should have been held accountable? Do you think that was the right decision that the court came back with? Letting the cops off with near murder, with a murder attempt. Uh, any beating is worse. Any beating never should happen. It should not happen. Just like last week, we talked about the brother, I think it was Sunday, the brother was having a mental breakdown, a mental breakdown. And with that mental breakdown, 8 officers showed up. 8 officers showed up. He's in handcuffs. They slam him down to the ground. Then they turned around while he's on the ground, sit the dog on him. But I understand you may not understand how that mess with a black person mentally because you never had to experience this. You don't have that type of history in your ancestor. And please, like I tell you every time, do not call with no caller ID. I'm not going to answer. So uh, save your fingers because I'm not going to answer you with no caller ID. Um, I didn't hear about that one today, but I heard it was 2 that just recently happened that took the count up to 4. Um, so I guess it's up to now. 5 officers that committed suicide, terrorist attack. So I really feel like with the way that they are charging these people, um, actually um, leave that to them. That should be part of their sentence because they are the cause of it. We don't know for sure if it was uh okay, so it is still 4. Okay. We don't know for sure if what they done January the 6th is the root cause of them committing suicide. But through that action, had at least one officer died from the bear spray they sprayed, and 4 officer PTSD is real. PTSD is real. When you go through something like that, it take a lot. It take a lot to be able to deal with it mentally. Mentally, it take a lot. That's kind of like with me. I admit, yeah, I take counseling every week. I sure do. I definitely do. It's a good thing. I'm not ashamed of it either. For the simple fact, uh, that with counseling, it help you to uh, deal with the emotion effect of uh, of something you've gone through. Like I said, and if you've been watching the show, like I said, I almost died in 2017, December the 15th, 2017. I almost died. So because of that, I needed to take counseling after I got out the hospital because mentally I felt like I was fine. I actually felt like I was fine until I heard my wife. um, till I heard my wife apologize on my behalf for things I was saying. So you never know what somebody is dealing with. That's why it's best to be kind. Don't go out and do a terrorist attack. Cause that's what that was. A terrorist attack, a domestic terrorist attack. And it's pitiful. Um, uh, uh, I don't know who you talking about. They want to play around with the fake narrative, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Radio said you're right. It's still um, said it's still 4 officers. That's what I love about this show, because if we make a mistake, we can correct ourselves. So that's a good thing, and I'm definitely um, good with that. Um, He's saying zero cop died on January 6th. What difference would it make if it was January 6th, January 7th, January 8th? It doesn't matter. The stuff never should have happened. That attack never should have happened. And it sounds like to me you okay with what they done. And it's all for nonsense. It's not gonna work. And you can keep calling all you want to, but guaranteed I would not answer your call as long as you are calling with no caller ID. So yeah, if y'all think I'm playing, look at him. He just calling, no caller ID. So if he want to be crazy enough to keep calling, and I'm saying I'm not finna answer your call with no caller ID, you just wasting your time. That's all you're doing, wasting your time. So okay. Yeah. That's not true. That's not true. That's okay. January 6th, a nationalist movement on the Patriot one, nationally never will end, never will win, never ends well. That's true. Either way, it was wrong. It was wrong. It never should have happened. And to have the leader at that time of the free land encourage these folks to do that, which is crazy. And none of these senator, Congress had enough balls to impeach him. But because they refused to impeach him, we're still having to pay him that salary. So yeah, that's just low down and dirty, a slap in the face. And then they later talking about, well, we should have impeached him, but we didn't want to. You part of the problem. I don't know what you smoking on tonight. You need to leave that stuff alone. Drug is a terrible thing. Um, this food said uh, a small group of people. Okay, and the FBI got a lot. Okay. It doesn't make a difference if they were armed or not. They never should have done it. Yeah, it was a gunshot. At least one gunshot, and it was a couple of people that had guns that was close to the Capitol that was arrested. Yes, it was. Um, and then the woman that tried to climb through the window and lost her life. Shouldn't have made it that far. Should not have made it that far. And apparently you didn't listen to the show last night. He talking about unlike BLM protests. When was there gunfires? It probably was some at some of them in some states, but that don't necessarily mean it was the protesters for BLM. That's what you and all the other Trumpers don't understand. Just because it's a BLM protest does not mean they are the ones causing the problem. That's what you don't understand. That's what you don't want to understand. Uh, so yeah, first learn that part. Exactly. What about the pipe bombs? Because there was pipe bombs found near the Capitol. Matter of fact, one of the suspect that was there, um, one of the suspect that was there when they arrested him, he had pipe bomb material. Matter of fact, I believe it was uh, a police officer that had pipe bomb material. Someone we did a story last month or the month before we talked about it. So yeah, so you're okay with shooting an unarmed woman with no warning? They broke into the house, just like you said a while ago, protecting your property. That's their job, to protect the Capitol. They never should have made it that far. They never should have been inside of the Capitol because, unfortunately, if it was up to me and I'm there to protect that Capitol, once they step foot into that Capitol, I have every right to take them out. Have every right, because that's my duty, to protect that Capitol, to protect the Senate, the Congress that is in there, the Vice President. I have every right to take them out. So as for Bobby, I believe was her name. Um, as for her, they did not shoot until she got ready to jump through that window and breach that door. And they should have. That's on her. Unfortunately, she lost her life behind it. So don't come with this BS talking about an unarmed woman. The woman broke into the Capitol along with everybody else. And if you think that they wasn't justified for doing, why don't you go and try to do it? Now, let me take that back. Peaceful protest going on yesterday near the Capitol. Over 200 people was arrested. Once again, peaceful protests, not an angry mob. These are pastors and other protesters that are peaceful. But at the same time, they arrested over 200. They knew this was going to happen on January 6th, but they did nothing to prevent it. Just like when that officer testified a couple of weeks ago, he said when it was a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest, we had all the backup we needed. Had Capitol Police, National Guard, uh, any law enforcement officers that was available was there to protect the Capitol. But on January 6th, we were left out there alone, didn't have no backup, none whatsoever. So you talking about you okay with shooting an unarmed woman with no warning? Practice what you preach, protecting your property. And that's what their job was to protect the Capitol. They never should have made it that far in there. Because once you breach the government building, it's all over. You have to protect them. That's kind of like, I believe it was Minnesota last year or something, that they actually talked about killing the governor talking about kidnapping her and killing her. They stormed the Capitol. That never should have happened, because the thing is, once they breach those doors, they should have been taken care of. They should have been taken care of, because their duty is to protect that governor, that building, by any means necessary. And what they did was wrong. So please don't come to me with this BS and talk about an innocent, unarmed woman with no warning. Oh, they supposed to warn her? She didn't see the damn gun pointed at her? Before he shot, before she tried to jump through that window, the gun was pointing at her. She didn't see that? She didn't want to see it. She thought the color of her skin was going to let her make it. But that officer did what he's supposed to have been doing. His supporters running around in the Capitol Hill talking about hang Pence, kill these folks. No, they never should have made it that far. Because it's jacked up. It's definitely jacked up. Exactly. Even on a tour at the Capitol, you can't go wherever you please. They're going to give you a guided tour. If you leave that area, guess what? You finna be arrested. You're finna be arrested. It been peaceful protests at the Capitol, and they've been arrested. Elected officials have been arrested. Along with those 200, I believe it's Representative Al Green was arrested also yesterday. Over 200 protesters arrested. Peaceful protests. See, that's the problem I have. A peaceful protest, you get arrested. But a mob protest that's doing damage, assaulting police officers, nothing happened. I have an issue with that. Hold them accountable just like you would anyone else. That's how you do it. That's where you become fair. So, yeah, your battery going to be dead in a little bit because you keep calling me for not necessary reason. And as long as you don't have your caller ID showing, I would not be answering. So, so you might well go on and stop and roll on with it. So, now Democrats stand with police. First of all, that's the issue that most of you Trumpers have anyway. You think Democrat is against the police? No, it's the fact that we're tired of black people, black and brown people being killed by the police for unnecessary reason. They're not against the police. It's the fact we want them to hold these officers accountable for their action. That's what we want. If we was against the police, you would see people attacking the police, but you don't see that. So don't come with that nonsense. Call it like it is. Call the cops out that is doing these type of things. Oh Lord. Like I said, we don't deal with conspiracy theories. So I'm reading some of his comments and I'm bypassing. Some of the things he's saying. Um, uh, Exactly. They are the poster people for gun control. The same argument they say all the time. Um, Come with something else other than that. You sound like a broke record. Come with something else. Um, so um, Back to you, radio. Yes, as reported, at least four officers that was there for January 6th, defending Capitol Hill, that was either assaulted or was working that day during that time. At least four of them have committed suicide. And I feel that that blood is on the hand of those domestic terrorists. Um, that's what I feel. That blood is on the hands of the domestic terrorists. So um, that's the best way of putting it. So as for the McCloskey, no, what they did was wrong, and it should be handled appropriately. But like Trump said, he wanted that governor to step in and pardon them. He said that right after it happened. And that governor had done exactly what Trump asked. So St. Louis, you have a fight on your hand. St. Louis, Missouri. First of all, when this clown run for office, um, Mike Parson, um, whenever he should be coming up next year, or did he say he wasn't running next year? But if he's running again, make sure um, that you actually vote him out. Get somebody else in there to replace it. And as for Mark McCloskey, um, he's running for U.S. Senate for next year. Vote. Do not allow him to get in. Get registered to vote today, and make sure he don't get in. You see what he stand for. You see exactly what he stand for. So yeah, um, you see exactly what he stand for. Let's vote him out. Don't let him get in. You vote Parson out, and don't let Mark get in. Radio said the funny part is they are both personal injury lawyers. You would think they would know the gun laws of their state. They should. They should. Um, I'm not looking at that or anything else. So with Cuomo, this is a sad situation. I um, said when the story first came out, if he did it, need to get rid of him. Need to hold him accountable. Um, and it actually came out where I'm trying to make sure. Oh wow, I haven't seen this number, but apparently, um, I know it said multiple people, but New York Governor Cuomo sexual harassed 11 women, report fines. He vows not to resign. That's not a smart comment to make, but okay. New York, August 3rd, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo groped, kissed, or made suggested comment to 11 women in violation of the law, the state attorney general said on Tuesday, prompting local prosecutor to launch a criminal investigation and reigniting calls for him to resign or be impeached. Hell, I wish somebody would impeach Greg Abbott. Abbott is on a whole nother mission, but we'll talk about that later. The finding of a 5-month investigation into an allegation of sexual harassment found the governor created a toxic workplace and that his office illegal retaliated against the first accuser to go public. After State Attorney General Lethal James unveiled the probe conclusion, President Joe Biden and other prominent Democrats called on the party's one-time star to resign. But a video statement issued after James briefing Cuomo, 63, made clear he had no plans to do so and denied he had acted inappropriately. The facts are much different than what has been portrayed, Cuomo said. A third-term Democrat governor who have served in the post since 2011, Cuomo called the finding inaccurate and unfair. He said his accuser had misinterpreted his words, gestures, and demeanor, insists his behavior was always intended to convey warmth to the women. The investigation marked a swift fall for a governor who became a popular national figure in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic by presenting himself as an author's present in daily news conference. Um, Defining detail in a sketching 168-page report could deal a devastating blow to Cuomo, once seen as a possible presidential candidate and a former U.S. Housing Secretary under President Bill Clinton, and hinder his administration. What this investigation revealed was a disturbing pattern of conduct by the governor of the great state of New York, said James, also a Democrat. These 11 women were in a hostile and toxic work environment. Biden told a reporter at the White House, I think he should resign. Um, I'm sure there are some embraced that were totally innocent, but apparently the attorney general decided there were things that weren't, Biden said. The speaker of the Democrat controlled New York Assembly said an impeachment investigation would conclude as quickly as possible after receiving evidence from James probe. The civil investigation found the action of Cuomo and his senior advisor violated multiple state and federal laws, James' office said, but she did not pursue criminal charges. After the report was published, the district attorney for Albany County, David Schwartz, announced his office has opened an investigation to see if any conduct rose to the level of a crime. Albany County is home of the city of Albany, the New York state capital. So apparently the investigator spoke to 179 people, and if he did, hey, it's best to go ahead and resign. Um, Resign and deal with your legal issues instead of fighting against it. But if you feel you did nothing wrong, fight for it. That I'm not gonna read. Radio said the funny part is that they are both personal injury lawyer. Okay, I read that. Radio said he should resign. Too many people are confirming the toxic work environment of his office. Yeah, he should. He should. See, that's one thing. Mentally, You dealing with uh, a toxic workplace, and I'm speaking from personal uh, issues. You dealing with a toxic workplace, uh, that can uh, make you regret working for that job, because the thing is, you go in, and people talk to you any type of way, uh, say what they want to say, and they expect for you to just take it. And a lot of time it's people half your age that's doing it. I'm just saying. People are tired of abuse of power. Doesn't matter what political party you in. That's true. Look at Ken the alleged gangster Parson. Same thing. That's why the State Bar Association in Texas is investigating him and may take his license from him for abuse of power. So look at that. Um, and sound like Cuomo is following Trump playbook to take no accountability for his action. Unfortunately, that's what it sounds like. It definitely sounds like that. For the simple fact, if you did it, hey, be a man. Say, hey, I made a mistake. You say you made a mistake, that'll go a long way. But then again, you don't want to admit either, because if you just saying it just to be saying it to please folks, of course, either way it go, it's going to be more actions come out of it. Um, so yeah, I would definitely, uh, hopefully they come to the end of it, and if if he's found guilty, let him do what he got to do. But 11 people, I didn't realize it was 11 different females that actually said something about it, which is crazy. Um, it was something I said, we'll talk about it later, and I'm trying to go back and talk about it. I guess Patrick fingers are sore. He stopped calling, stopped typing, so I guess him gone now. Um, so um, I've been in toxic work environment. They are the worst. Yes, they are. They are. Some of them is kind of like, you be like, you wake up in the morning, get ready to go, and you just lay in the bed and think, I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this. But then you start thinking about, well, shoot, I gotta pay these bills. You deal with it, and some of the toxic workplace will have you working that would not give you the opportunity to have a lifestyle outside of that job. They will constantly call you on your day off, needing this, needing that, or can you do this? Can you do that? It's my day off. You know I'm off, but you still calling me on my day off. It's like they don't care. Only thing they care about, long as that company making money. That could be one of the worst things to do right there, radio. I work with toxic musician. That don't even, it seems like that shouldn't even be in the same sentence. But I know it's like that. It's some people that is actually that bad, that would treat everybody around them like a number. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what it is. I guess I'm a little exhausted. um, some people would treat everybody around them like a number, feel like they up above them instead of working with them. And people don't realize, if you actually treat people with respect, you can get more out of them. You make it peaceful, they're going to do everything you need for them to do. But instead, some people would prefer to treat you less than them and expect for you to come up with a smile on your face. See, when you're working in a toxic uh, workplace, what happened is you could be up there, come in, be in a good mood. As soon as you come in, that toxic start, and you be like, oh, damn. Now, if you dealing with customers, what happened then, this person piss you off, and now you got to go out here and deal with a customer. And every customer, that old saying, all customers right? Nope. That's the saying, but that ain't always true. Um, uh, that ain't always true. So now you have to deal with this customer. Now your supervisor piss you off. Now this customer piss you off. Then you get finished with that customer, supervisor get back on your case again. Now you go back out here and have to deal with another customer. At some point, people are going to be like, forget this. I'm out of here. Um, I know a guy that had another musician spit in his face. That would have been an ass whooping. That would have been a beatdown. That's the worst thing you could do to anybody is spit on them. Um, exactly. That would have actually, whew, thank God. Especially this day and time, because now I know here in Texas, um, if you to spit on someone, that becomes an assault. Because with the uh, even with HIV, you don't know what somebody may have, but then they assault you by spitting on you. That's an assault. And now with COVID, that's an assault. So you take that chance you want to, you about to get your tail toe up. So yeah, that's one of the worst things anybody can do. And as for there are two things I can't stand: bullying and out of control egos. It's like you can have two people in the same position, same power, but it's kind of like they uh, standing side by side and trying to see who can pee the furthest. Those egos. Oh, I could pee farther than you. I could pee farther than you, and now they going neck and neck. It don't make sense. If you treat everybody with respect, this world will be a much better place. It will be guaranteed. And then the killing, it will stop. I had an incident that happened a couple of weeks ago. Um, my wife and I, we took a little small road trip, and taking this road trip, um, coming back, we stopped to fill up, get something to eat, and we stopped at a nationwide restaurant. And I know Risk and I talked about certain restaurants, give them a shot and all of this. But this particular place, I'm like, hell to the no. But we stopped at a low restaurant. And first of all, it's hot inside the restaurant. No problem. As we walked in, we realized everything kind of chaos. No problem. But we went in there and ordered our food. Um, waited. About 20 minutes, a friend said, "Hey, Kurt, dog, You get your food yet? I'm like, no, still waiting. He was like, what you get? I tell him what I got. And he was like, okay. So then the manager asked, hey, which one of y'all waiting for this? Because she heard us discussing it. Who waiting on this? And I'm like, I'm waiting on it. I've been waiting for about 20 minutes. So she asked the cook, hey, did you cook this? Cook said, yes, it's down. No problem. It's down. Let 5 minutes go by. The manager not up there no more. I'm like, do you know how long it's gonna be? Because we gotta get back on the road. So the cashier asked, hey, you know how much longer on that? He was like, on what? He didn't know what she was talking about. And she like, huh? Didn't know what he was talking about. I said, you know what? Let me just get a refund. I just wait until we get back home and I grab something to eat then. But my wife said, no, they have one of them ready. Why don't you just get a refund for the one that's not ready? And we'll just split it. We'll grab something to eat for dinner later on. Okay, fine. Now, I noticed the price um, on the situation on the menu. But when I got my receipt, the price was like 30 cents higher than what the menu said. And I asked the question, I'm like, hey, why is the price higher on the receipt than it is on the menu? And they was like, uh, I don't know. So she asked the manager, and the manager asked her, said, well, Miss Such and Such said the price change every Sunday. Now, most people that know me, I'm all about customer service. Um, but I was good. I've been working on it. I've been good, been really good. So, um, so my friend was like, "What do you mean your price change every Sunday for a fast food place? Y'all changing your price every Sunday?" And the girl said, "Yeah, that's what the Miss Such and Such told me." I said, "Look, just give me my refund for a week ago." And they was all confused. The other manager that was there, she was like, I don't know. Because I actually said, well, look, instead of getting a refund, can I just switch it to this? Well, I don't know how much more that'll be. I just said, forget it. Just give me the refund, let me go. And as we went out the door, my friend kept saying, y'all, please do better. One thing y'all need to do is do better. And that was, yeah, yeah, that that's that's the that's what they told us. And the price change every Sunday for a fast food restaurant. For a fast food restaurant, it change every Sunday. And I haven't had a chance to um, to actually call to that location and speak with upper management because I've been pretty tied up. But every Sunday, the price change is what we was told every Sunday. And I'm like, can you imagine going in here and the price change every Sunday? Y'all gonna be closed pretty soon, real soon, because what you're doing here is not right. Now, normally, if I go somewhere, whatever price you have it marked, and I agree to buy it, that's what I want. That's the price I want because that's the price you have it marked. You never see signs on restaurant. Come on in, pay more on Sunday. Exactly. And I was like, really? Y'all got to get it together. I just said, forget it. Give me the money back for the other half, and we gone. But I just been so tied up and didn't have a chance to follow up on that because that's a major issue. And this is a worldwide um, chain. So I'm like, yeah, um, that's why I didn't say the name because I want to uh, do some talking first before I say anything. Now, I have no problem putting them on blast, but at the same time, it's kind of jacked up. Now, probably, um, radio said that's like holding out for less money on a deal. Exactly. Welcome to the show, T Cal. I know it's Tuesday night. You at work, sliding in hot Kurt Dog, hot radio. Thank you for always supporting the show. Appreciate you for tuning in. Now, radio, what I thought about when the young lady told us that, I'm like, it's Sunday. Maybe they raised the price up on Sunday because they know people are going to come in and eat. Then on Monday, you take the price back down to the menu price. That's what I personally thought. I don't know. But I'm like, I never been to that particular location before, but that's what took place. I felt that when the woman told us that, I'm like, you gotta be kidding. First of all, I done stayed up in here for almost 30 minutes for what I wanted. And at this point, you should have at least offer something. When I said, well, look, instead of getting refund, can I switch it to this? I don't know how much more that it costs. I have to check and see. First of all, y'all already messed up. It should not take 30 minutes at a fast food restaurant. Matter of fact, it was a young lady in there picking up a meal. She was like, I hate coming to this store. I hate it. It's never right. It take too long and it affect my tips. So I'm like, hey, but I'm gonna try to make time to reach out to them and talk with the GM and also talk with upper management because they need a whole new makeover as for employees. Now, the manager that was working that night, she was trash. I'm saying she's trash for the simple fact someone brought food up there for her, and she took time out to go in the back, get the money for the food, come out, pay the person for the food, and then turn around and go back to the office. I guess she went in there to eat while you have a line up here and all of that. So that was that was trash. Poor excuse for me. Kind of sound like our governor. I just thought about what I was going to say. Um, yeah, I feel like Greg Abbott, if we can impeach him, great. I would have no complaint because Greg Abbott, his time is gone. It's up. And I look at Greg Abbott, and I know I switched that story real quick because I just thought about Greg Abbott. But Greg Abbott, um, the federal judge did block Greg Abbott order to pull over vehicles with suspected immigrants in it, which they should. He never should have signed a racist bill like that, saying it's going to control COVID. No, what's going to control COVID is follow the doctor's order. Encourage people to wear a mask. Uh, Change your mandates. We know you would change your mandates when it's dealing with little Becky, like you did last year when she violated your order, but you refused to change your order when it can save lives. But once again, you got to realize um, this is something that is going to affect all of us, not just one group of people. It's going to affect every last one of us. So yeah, um, and even the White House have told Florida Governor DeSantis and Abbott handle the COVID spike or get out the way. Handle the COVID spike or get out the way. Um, because the thing is, these numbers are still going up. And Greg Abbott, he need to go somewhere and take a nap. Talking about the Biden administrator failed to secure the border. Huh? We'll say that for tomorrow, because I'm I know that's gonna start a whole nother conversation. Biden administration failed to secure the border. Now they blocking us from protecting Texas from COVID positive migrants. We look forward to presenting our case in court, keep Texans safe, and holding Biden accountable. But at the same time, you won't hold uh, Ken Patson accountable for the charges that he faced. As for now, what Abbott said when it came out about Ken Patson and these different charges, we're going to investigate it. But he ain't said nothing else about it. So let's hold Ken Patson accountable first before you try to put the blame on other people. Ken Patson is accused of security fraud. That's his first charge that happened 6 years ago, and still been switching around in the courts. You should have been telling him the whole time, hey, you need to get this behind you. Stop switching it from court to court to court. Stand trial and see what the outcome is. Then the FBI is investigating them too for abuse of power. But you're not saying nothing about none of that. And then here it is, you talking about the mandates. You're not changing your mandates, but we all know you're used to changing your mandates. When it happened with little Becky last year, when she refused to follow your order, you, Dan Patrick, Ken Patson, Sarah Palin, and all the rest of them decide to come to little Becky rescue and support her. But at the same time, you're not concerned about all the citizens of Texas. So at this point, you need to get your ass in order, get impeached, and get the hell on. And I'm up out of here. Until tomorrow night, I love each and every one of you. Peace.